Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another interview with King Sound Entertainment Media Group. We're here with another interview with Hollywood Now, where we introduce you to some of the today's hottest stars, Hollywood insiders, and Hollywood influencers. And today is no exception. But prior to our guests, we want to thank our partners and our sponsors for supporting us and just from day one being there for us, heart to heart for you. God Org, Hill to Hill. We want to thank USC Black Alumni Association. We want to thank the Moreland Greenwood Foundation. Thank you guys so much for your partnerships. And if you are interested in partnering with us, the King Sound Entertainment Media Group, please email us at kingsoundentertainment.tv, our official website, and our emails are on there, kingsoundentertainment.tv. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to support us directly, please go to Venmo, King Sound Entertainment Company, as well as $ capital J, capital L, capital C, lowercase l, AYBON on Cash App. Any amounts, any size amount would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for your support, and we'll see you there. We want to thank also those of you who already subscribed. Continue to subscribe, continue to share, comment. We're getting great analytics on this, and we're getting great increases in all our numbers across the board. We are on Twitter, King Solomon Entertainment Media Group. We are on Facebook, King Solomon Entertainment Company. We are on Instagram, King_Solomon_ENT_CO_ on Instagram, and on YouTube, we're James Claiborne. Please subscribe, comment, and share. Today, on Hollywood Now, we have award-winning director, writer, actress, producer, Jillian Bullock. I just want to read a few of her credits before we get started. She started on the Malcolm X movie with Spike Lee as an intern. She has her own production company, TV show, movie Here I Stand, A Cup Full of Crazy. She also won awards for Two with Your Eyes, and Best Film at the Film Festival. She has won several awards, as well as done wonderful films. Great writer, great screenwriter, professor. I can contest to that. Thank you so much for joining us, award-winning director, actress, producer, Jillian Bullock. Thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself more formally to our audience, please.
Thank you, James, for having me on your show. As you said, I got my start in the film industry as an intern on Spike Lee's movie Malcolm X. Then I formed my own production company, Jillian Bullock Enterprises, and I've worked on other people's projects along with my own as I get my feet wet so I can learn the business. Now I'm just the CEO, the boss now. So, so just want to clarify some things with the titles that you're saying. Touch with Your Eyes is the short that I did. A Sense of Purpose, Fighting for Our Lives is the movie that's now out on Amazon on demand, and that's the one that won all these awards. Here I Stand is not a movie yet. We're in development on that movie. And I'm also in pre-production on A Cup Full of Crazy, a psychological thriller. So I got a lot of things going on.
No, you are amazing. Let's get into it because that's a great segue. You wear several hats, multifaceted. A thespian, you are definitely talented in all genres. How do you sharpen each skill? How do you differentiate? How do you know how to go back and forth at the right time to wear what hat? Please share with us about how you craft that.
I study Tyler Perry a lot. He does all that, and he's done well doing that. And I study other actors, and producers and directors who do that, who do it all. They do everything, because you want to be an asset to the business, and you want to know each part, so you can do your own productions, and you don't have to have people trying to tell you what to do, because you want to have creative control over your projects. And the way to do that is if you do the writing, directing, producing, acting. So I just look at other filmmakers who are successful, like really successful in their craft and their business, and then I just craft it to what I want to do as a female, and of course a Black female, for my company.
Yeah. Yeah, if
So
we
that's
can just stay there for a minute, I like the fact that and you speak to that because a lot of people think ego, narcissism, but as an independent producer myself, like you have to know those things because if you don't, you will outsource all those things, and it also slow down getting anything done. So you have to, learn as many skills as you possibly can. Correct? It's not really
oh,
an ego thing per se.
it's not an ego. People think that, but you know what? It's something that you got to learn if you want to be an independent filmmaker, because there's going to come a time where you need to learn these things so you can still make. If something were to happen and you like, I don't know that part, then your film is done. Your film is done. It's to the point where I'm actually going to go back to school to become a DP, director of photography, because I don't ever want not to be able to film something because I don't have a DP around. I'll be like, I don't have a DP, so I'll shoot it myself. I'll film it myself. So it's always about learning and seeing other ways, how ways you could be um, crafty, and how you can do more. So you can be more, like I said, more of an asset, and you can take control of things, and you don't have to wait on other people if something falls through.
Yes. So please tell me, what did your passion starts for the arts? When did it all begin for the arts? Your passion for the arts? Did it
Well,
start in
actually,
school? When did it all start?
no, it actually started when I was little. I grew up with my mom and my Italian stepfather. He was in the mafia in Philadelphia, but every Sunday he would take me to the movies, and he was such a film buff. He was the one that said, eventually one day you're going to become a filmmaker. And of course, at that time, I thought he was crazy because I'd never seen a woman director, let alone a black woman director. But he was excited about the process, so I just said, "Oh, okay, whatever," But I started getting into it as I got older, and I just said, "Okay, this is something cool I want to do. I'm going to try to fulfill fulfill his dream." And especially when he died, and he said, promise me that you'll become a filmmaker like we talked about. And I promised him, and now, I've done it. So I've lived up to my promise for him and fulfilled his dream.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful that he was able to see that early on. And he nurtured that. That was really, really good. And you can
Yeah.
see that in your work. For those who are fans of her work, we can see that influence in her work. She's really, really good. And so it started off when you was really young in your personal life. So how did it develop in the sense of you wanted to be in front of the camera, you wanted to be behind the camera, and then you really, really focus on screenwriting. Like you're really, really good at screen, which is a craft all this on. Most screenwriters don't even do nothing else.
Right. I went to school for communications at LaSalle University. Part of the curriculum in order to graduate is we had to do film courses and a lot of writing. I actually, while I was in communications, of course, journalism was a big part of that curriculum. So I wrote, actually, I was a reporter for the Wall Street Journal at the time while I was in school. And screenwriting was another big part of that. I just had a knack for writing. I did that since I was young. When I was a young child, I used to win all these writing essay contests because I just had a knack for writing and being creative. I usually wrote about mob stuff, but my stepfather said, "You can't show that to anybody because that could be a little dangerous." So I would just keep the stories to myself and let my stepfather read it.
Yeah,
Uh, but later, I started writing other stuff beyond the mob stuff, and I used to win a lot of awards in school. And that just made me feel that maybe, my stepfather was right, that I could be a screenwriter, I could be a filmmaker.
yeah. You mentioned a lot of things that you got your hands in, and I know you are centered out of Philadelphia. Now, how challenging is that? Because you have been able to make a name for yourself residing in Philadelphia. Because some people say you must be in Hollywood, so we know that's not true. Because you've seen what Tyler, like you said, Tyler Perry has done, and so many others. They're bringing Hollywood to their city, and so like how has it been challenging for you to really get a recognition, but you've been in Philly?
Well, when you do good work, and that's why I tell people, when you do work, people gonna find you. They're gonna see you. And in fact, I was just hired recently to direct a $5.5 million movie by these two Hollywood producers. So I will be in Hollywood filming that movie. We're starting that around February of 2021. They actually looked online. They were looking for a female director, they looked online and did research, and then they found me and found my work, and they saw my stuff and they loved it. So we got on a Zoom call. I talked to the two producers. I read their script. I loved their script. And I had some, me being a screenwriter, I had some suggestions for them to make it better.
That's gonna get you in trouble now. Get the
No, they actually was okay with it. They were fine with
okay.
it. They were like, good. I thought they might have a problem, but that's my thing. So
You can't help it. You can't help yourself. You
I
can't help
can't. I can't. But they were cool. They were cool with it, and they made the changes that I asked for. And I said, "This is great, and let's do it." So
That's amazing. No, I think you speak volumes in that because you have to be good all the way around, especially in what you claim to be your specialty. You have to be good because your work will definitely speak for you, and you know how important rebuilding relationships are. So how
right,
important
right.
like building good relationships is in the business, right?
Oh,
It's very
definitely.
important.
Any people that I work with, I usually I usually hear from other people that they worked with. They said they worked with me, and they gave me high praise because I really am on point when it comes to being professional, knowing my craft, and I try to treat everybody well, especially on set. Make sure they're paid, make sure they're fed well, make sure that they're just treated respectfully while they're on set, and that's important because your reputation will follow you. So you definitely have to be on point, or people will talk about you badly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how do you keep up with the forever paradigm shifting of Hollywood? How do you keep up with it, or do you keep up with it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with this new movie that I'm going to be filming in Hollywood, it's I'm sure I'll get even more opportunities to film in Hollywood. Philly's my base, but I don't have a problem going out of Philadelphia. That doesn't make sense. You want to grow as a filmmaker, you got to leave your city sometimes. Even Tyler, he started out in Hollywood, but when he got big enough, he was able to move to Atlanta. That's his hometown. But he started there, so I don't have a problem filming anywhere in the world because that's how you grow as a director. So if
Yes,
I don't care if we're in Canada, I don't care if we're in Europe, I don't care where we are. I will go
yeah,
as long as I think the project is a good project.
yeah.
So that's
Let's talk about the wonderful things you're doing right in your hometown, Philly. You work with the city. You got a lot of wonderful programs you got going there. The screenwriting contest. Tell us about the wonderful you're doing in Philly as far as filmmaking.
well, I am a screenwriting judge for the Set in Philadelphia screenwriting contest. It's by the Philadelphia Film Office, and they offer this every year. You can sign up. And if you win, the grand prize is like you get $10,000, and you get to be some industry pros who look over your script. They might help get it produced. So that's pretty cool. I've been doing that since 2007. They have four Hollywood uh, judges, and I'm the Philly judge. So that's pretty cool that I represent the
That's
Philly
pretty good.
town. Yeah, so it's exciting. You get to read so many scripts. Um, and you learn people who have some talent, a lot of people who don't have talent. It is what it
Yeah,
is. But the
yeah.
ones that do, they're going to go on and do good things, and I'm sure whoever wins, they're $10,000 is not bad for a screenwriting contest.
No, not at all. Not bad at all. And you also do stunt. You do a lot of stunt work. You do a lot
Well,
of
my
action
own,
stuff.
only
Yeah.
my stuff, only in my films. I'm a fight
Oh,
choreographer in my films. I don't
but
do stunts in other films, just
you
my
still
own.
do it, and you enjoy martial arts and stuff like that. You enjoy action movies and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, every movie that I write has some form of physical fitness in it. It's usually boxing or mixed martial arts because that's what I do. So I'm comfortable doing it, and I'm comfortable teaching uh, actors how to do it to make them look like they're professionals, even though they're not. So
Yeah,
that's pretty
that's
cool.
wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what's your long term goal? Like, what do you want to go in filmmaking? Have you done your ideal role? What's your dream role to film to direct? What you working on making manifest right now?
Well, like I said, I'm in development on my film for my memoir. Here I stand. Like I said, I grew up with my Italian mafia family, and that's pretty big. I have a book out called Here I Stand, and a lot of people have come at me. They want to produce the book, but it has to be with the right producer because it is my story. you know. Plus, that's going to be a bigger budget film because it is a period piece. So we're talking about the '70s. So got to get the right people involved for that. So, but I wrote the script already, so that's ready. I want to do that, and in the next couple of years, I plan to open up my own film studio like Tyler. Not on 100 and all those acres of land, 300 acres of land that he has, but I still do want to open up my own film production studio and be the first and the only female and African American female to own a studio in Philadelphia.
Now, in Atlanta or in Philly?
Philly, got to be in my
Yeah,
hometown.
gotta be in Philly. Yeah, yeah. That's going to be amazing. That's wonderful. That's just definitely where it's going. So you can be able to do more projects and oversee more projects,
Yep.
and definitely produce a lot of wonderful films. And so, what is one of the misconception about filmmaking and screenwriting? We want to kind of like help aspiring film writers and actresses. Like, what is some? Let's clear up some misconceptions. Like, what do they need to do to like really hone their craft or really get in there and get started? Like, what's kind of advice would you give them?
Well, as far as screenwriting, as you know, I'm a screenwriting, instructor. So yeah, they got to know the basics. I tell them they got to study their craft. They got to read tons of scripts and write and look at tons of movies because the scripts usually aren't the same as the movies. They usually make some major changes. And they had to read books, look at online YouTube, screenwriting 101. They could learn how to do screenwriting and take courses, of course, like you did. Uh, they just have to put the time in. The misconception that you said, people think screenwriting is easy. And it's one of the hardest jobs out there. If you're a writer, it's one of the hardest things. You have to get so much together in 120 pages or less. Character development, plot, premise, dialogue. It's a lot, and you have to know the rules to it before you can break those rules. You got to know the rules. Everybody can be different, and you could be quirky, and you could be your own type of writer, like Quentin Tarantino is. He does his own thing, but you have to know the rules first. He had to get to a certain level first before he was allowed to break all those rules and do his thing. Um, so that's anybody. Anybody who wants to do the type of writing. Anybody wants to be a filmmaker. As far as a director, again, it's studying. You got to study the directors. You got to take courses. You got to invest the money to do these things because if you don't, and you just try to shoot something that you think looks all right, it's just going to be that. It's going to suck. It really is going to suck. So, same with the scripts. You don't want to keep putting your stuff out in film festivals and screenwriting awards and keep getting rejected because your work is terrible, you know?
Yeah. No, that's so important that you say that because when you sit under different screenwriters, everybody have their own style. But one of the things that is so wonderful about what you said is the principle shouldn't change, the rules shouldn't change, and you definitely stick to the rules. And then you say, well, you can do that. That might work, but the rule is. That I think that's very important because that's where your understanding come from, and so you could be
Yep.
able to imagine what the possibilities of what you can do once you
Right.
understand the rules. So that's
Rules
really
first.
important. So it was definitely an eye opener taking your screenwriting class because you definitely did not stray away from the rules. And I took in other people, and it's like I heard so many different versions. Like stick to the rules, stick to we'll make sure everything the meat and potato was there. I can get creative later, but make sure
Right.
the rules
Right.
is solid.
Yep.
You
You,
know.
I mean, like I said, you definitely have to know the rules first, and then you can break the rules and do your own thing. But you have to know the rules because there are certain things that must be in scripts. Like you have to have your act one, act two, act three. People like, what's that? I mean, you go study and you'll learn. You got to definitely have to know how to write dialogue and things that you don't do. Like you have cliches. So many people have cliches in their scripts, and just a lot of bad writing out there sometimes, but there's also great writing. I've seen a lot of scripts that were fantastic and amazing, and I'm like, this is going to go somewhere. So, just study your craft. If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to school. You want to be a lawyer, you got to go to school. You're not going to just jump out there and just think you're going to be, a lawyer or a doctor without doing all the work that you need to do.
Um, yeah. So no, that's wonderful. So I'm so excited to have you on. We here at Hollywood Now, another interview with award-winning directress Jillian Bullock. We so wonderful to have you on. So glad that you're here. Your knowledge and just the this, the wonderful strides you're making and what you have been able to accomplish. It's not easy, and although it seems as it's a brand new day, but it's still tough. And
Oh,
and people that know it's rare because it's like for you, like you started off at the top. Like how can you outdo Spike Lee? But
I was an
again, you
intern.
found the
No,
way to
wait.
get better.
No, I was
What?
an intern on Spike Lee. And the intern is you're the lowest person on the total poll. And actually, they
Yeah,
call you
but that
yeah.
every time I interview somebody great, I just believe a piece of that falls on me. And it's like you start off with working with one of the greatest directors there is. So it's like, but you still manage to focus and still obtain those necessities. A lot of people get the big head and really quickly, you know what I'm saying? Because they into name dropping,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean,
But you
why
have
when you just
definitely
an
learned your
intern?
craft and you like
Yeah,
really,
yeah, you got to learn your craft. You have to start from the bottom,
yeah,
work your way
get
up.
into the
That's
name
what
drop with Spike Lee. I went,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really important. So I'm so glad that you was able to definitely hone your craft and definitely take it real serious. You're definitely a steward of the arts, and that's a beautiful thing to be able to do it and teach it and have a passion for it. And so I just wanted to conclude on you say the dream role is to get your work done and to just continue to do films. So hopefully we'll get to see your movie being made. Here I stand really soon when you get the right producers and investors with it. That would be really
Yeah.
good. So do you want to do anything as far as a woman's film, like women empowerment or something?
Every film that I do, everything that I write, the woman's the lead. The lead character is a woman. So I definitely put the woman first in every script I write. So about empowerment, that's what I'm about. I'm a female. So why wouldn't I put a woman in the lead role? So yeah, I do. Every script I write, the female, she's a badass.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's wonderful. So much. Thank you so much for doing the show. I really thank you for coming on the platform and sharing with us your expertise and your professionalism. Please let them know how they can get in touch with you. Please let them how they know they can get involved and what you got going on.
I mean, they can always go through my website. Everything's on there on my social media handles and stuff that I'm doing now. JBullockEnterprises.com. Very simple. And they can see everything that I'm doing on all my social media handles and to connect with me. That'd be great.
They definitely check out on the website and everything, and connect with her. And wonderful thing, wonderful director, wonderful writer. She also has a wonderful online class where she teaches, and wonderful teacher. I'm talking about solid. If you really want to learn how to write and know business, definitely look up directress Jillian Bullock. She's listed, and reach out to her, connect with her, take her courses. Really, really wonderful. You join us for another interview with Hollywood Now, where we bring you the Hollywood stars, Hollywood star power, and insiders, influencers. We're here today with directress Jillian Bullock, Hollywood award-winning director Jillian Bullock, and just thank you guys so much for your support. Share this video, subscribe, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much, and continue to support. Thank you guys so much, and see you guys next time. Thank you guys for joining us another interview with Hollywood Now. Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you, James.